Hi, and welcome to your fourth ukulele lesson in our Oxford Community Arts Center series. In this lesson, we're going to learn a few more new chords and apply them to some fun songs. And we're going to start by learning the E7 chord. The E7 chord is a fun one for the hands. We're going to take that first finger and place it on the fourth string in the first fret, and then our 2 and 3 are going to sit where they sit for G7, okay? The second finger there on the third string and the third finger there on the first string, both in the second fret. That's E7. Does that sound great? Yeah. So we're going to pair it with an A minor chord, all right? So look at that finger right there, can just slide up. Summertime, and the living is easy. Just a little something to hum while you're practicing those chord changes right there, all right? We're not going to do that song, but if you need something to hum while you're just practicing this change right here. Yep. Summertime. And the living is easy. Chord will change here, so we won't go any further. Fish are jumping. You can hear it's going to go somewhere else. We're not going to go there, okay? You know the chord, actually. Fish are jumping. It's a D minor. But we're going to just use that. Just hum that little bit of summertime. It kind of gives you can even feel it, right? I'm just doing 2 strums on each. I'm going from that A minor to my E7, back and forth, okay? It's not too hard of a change, but it might feel awkward at first, but you'll get used to it, okay? Notice what I'm doing with my wrist and my hand. Find that place that's going to feel right for you, all right? You'll notice if it's down here, notice what that does to my elbow. It doesn't feel good, all right? So find that place. And if I have my elbow too close in and I don't want to release it from my body, that's not going to feel good either, all right? So find that place where it's really comfortable for you. And after practicing for a little bit, you need to shake it out. Go for it, okay? We're getting into it now. Okay, we're halfway through this, the first part of the series, of part 1. So we're really getting into it. So take the time to shake out your shoulders, open and close your hands if you need to. If you've been playing for a while, and circle your wrists in both directions. Like I said, open and close those hands. Okay, we're going to go ahead and play Summertime. The more I thought about it, the more I thought, these chords. And, I showed you the one, D minor, and the only other chord other than that A minor and E7 is a C chord. So it's not hard to put in there. So let's go ahead and learn it. So starting on that change makes a really nice intro to the song. Summertime. And like we were doing, and the living is easy. That change is really nice over the first part of the song. Fisher, here we are jumping. That's your D minor here. Jumping. And the cotton here's your E7, is high. Your daddy is rich. Then you're back to your A minor. And your mama's, you can go back to that change. You could hang there minor on that A minor, but boy, do I like that change. All right, your mama is rich. We'll go back to that. And your daddy's good looking. So hush, little, and I would go to the C here, baby. Then your D minor, don't. And then your E7. You cry. Such a nice interlude on those changes, right? And one of these mornings, the second verse is just like the first, but we'll go through it again. You're gonna rise up singing. You're gonna spread your wings. There's that D minor. And take to the sky. There's your E7. Until that morning. You can see how even you can stop for to make it a little more dramatic. Until that morning. Here's that change. Ain't nothing gonna harm you. Here we go with your mammy and pappy. Stand. Here's your D minor and E7. Then bye. And then you go on. And you can sing it over and over again. If you happen to have somebody, a musician who plays an auxiliary instrument around you, they could take a solo. There's so many fun things you can do. If you're a singer, you can scat or do some really fun vocal things over top of the instrumental and then come back. So that song is wonderful. So I'm glad we decided to include it and have fun with that one. So we're going to learn a song that is going to utilize that change that you've just been playing over summertime or humming summertime too. But we're going to use some other chords too. You've been practicing that D major chord. We're going to use that chord as well as some you already know so well, F and C, all right? So this is House of the Rising Sun. Now you're going to start on A minor, all right? This song also has that feel of 3 to it, but it can also have a feel of 2 to it. So like 1, 2, 1, 2. Then you're going to go to your D, 1, 2. Then your F. All right. Now I'm going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You could go 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, then 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm putting little 3s on each of those beats, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right. So either way it works. Even if you just do that, you can feel that pulse of 3 behind there, okay? And I know if you know this song, you know what I'm talking about. So then let's go on to the next line. They call the rising. Here's your new chord. We're coming from the C, but look how nice this is. I've got my index finger ready to go, and these guys can go right here. The sun, it's been, there's your A minor. Here, go to your C, a ruin of many a poor boy. That was just like the first line. Now here's the last line. You know it. And God, I know I won. Now you can take it just like I was playing. You're going back and forth here, right? So if you wanted to go from one verse right into the other, that E7 makes it really nice and easy to make happen. We call it sometimes in music a turnaround. It turns around and allows you to come back to the chord that you need. So at the beginning, so if we went, God, I know I'm one. You can do it again. Then you're here. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my old blue. Here we go on that E7 jeans. Did you see my reference finger was already there? And now we're at my father was a gambling man. Here we go down in New Orleans. Very good, very good. All right. And then of course, gosh, there are, a few more verses to this song too, but one that you can have fun with, feel that rhythm, play with it, that feel of 3 behind your 2, and you'll get this one in no time. Okay, let's learn a couple more chords to practice our E7 chord. And these chords work really well with E7. They're part of a very strong family. And the first chord we're going to learn is the A chord. It looks quite a bit like the F chord. Remember, the F has that first finger on the 2nd string, but now we're going to move it up to your 3rd string of that 1st fret. So there's your A chord. Lifting that middle finger gives you an A7 chord, that little bit of a bluesy sound to it, right? This is a little more straight ahead, and that's a little more bluesy. So we're going to use both of those chords quite a bit, okay, in various ways. All right, so you can go from your A chord to your E7 chord and back. You had been doing this with the A minor chord, if you remember, but now we're using the A chord, all right? We can also go from that A7 chord. All right? Just really a move of this finger, and then those 2 lay down. And you're so used to playing this E7 chord now. Okay, so let's take those 2 chords, let's add the D chord, and let's put it into a fun little gospel song that we know and love called I'll Fly Away. So I'm just gonna strum quarter notes here so we can get used to it. My little strumming pattern would definitely contain more 8th notes. But for starters, let's just use those quarter notes that we were talking about, okay? So we have some, starting on the A, some bright morning when this life is over. Now we're gonna go to your D. I'll fly away to that home on God's celestial shore. Stay on your A. I'll then go to your E7. Fly and back away. Good. Now your chorus is just the same thing. I'll fly away, old glory. Here's your D. I'll fly away. Stay there. By and by. Hallelujah when I die. Stay on the A. I'll go to your E7, fly and back away. Good job. So there is a fun song for you to practice. Your new chord, your A chord, along with that E7 chord and your D chord. So we're going to continue staying in the same family of chords, and we're going to use that A7 a little bit too, all right? And we're going to put it in a blues song by Elvis Presley called Hound Dog. Now, you could use this song for really any blues song out there that follows something that you heard me mention before, the 12-bar blues. So the 12-bar blues is essentially 12 bars of music, 12 measures of music that are played over and over again. That same chord progression, that same pattern is played over and over again. So we're going to play it with our A chord, our D chord, and our E7 chord, and we can play around with that A7. You'll see in the next a few lessons, sometimes these 7 chords can help lead us into our next chord, okay? So we are going to start on Hound Dog. Let's start on that E7. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. There's my A. Crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a... Now go to your D. Hound dog. Crying all the... Back to your A. Now here comes your E7. You ain't never caught a rabbit. Here's your D. You ain't no friend of mine. Now you can go to your E7 here as a little turnaround. They said you were high class. I'm going to do the same thing, but I want to show you a couple little things you can do to make it even more bluesy, okay? But that was just a lie. Now you can lead in by lifting this finger and doing your A7. You said you were, and go to your D. High class. Lift your middle finger. But that was just a lie. So I went from my A to my A7. I did my D. I did my D7. And then I come back to my A. All right? You ain't never caught a rabbit. You ain't no, or you could do your D7 too. Ain't no friend of mine. And we go to your turnaround, all right? So notice that A7 led nicely into the D. The D7 led nicely back into the A, all right? From the E7, you can easily use that D7 and back to your A, all right? And you know all of those chords. So have fun. Sometimes I don't know which one I'm going to do. Sometimes, it depends on the feel. Sometimes it depends on the musicians that are around me and the notes they choose to play. So play around with it and see how you like it too. But you'll definitely hear in the 12-bar blues how you can play around with A and A7 and D and D7. That E7 is straightforward when it comes in, okay? So there's a fun 12-bar blues song for you, and you really can apply this to most blues songs. You'll begin to hear the 12-bar blues a lot of different places, okay? And you'll actually be able to apply these chords to those blues songs as well. Clearly, there are a lot of blues songs out there that follow other progressions, and some even similar to I'll Fly Away. And but again, primarily, the 12-bar blues is what you're going to hear. There are some fun little variations, of course, that can happen within it. And those 7s are just, some of them, but for the most part, 12-bar blues, straight ahead. We're going to, I've been thinking, what other fun song can we use with our A and our D and our E7? And we have a super fun Johnny Cash song. So this Johnny Cash song here is Ring of Fire, and you're going to follow, starting off, it's going to be rather similar to I'll Fly Away, all right? So we have love is a burning thing. There was that A to the D, back to the A change, and then it makes, then go to your E7, a fiery ring. Good. Now same thing, bound by wild desire. And then I fell in E7 to a ring of fire. Now when we go to this chorus, it's going to start on the E7. I fell into a burning ring. There's your D, and back to A. A fire. I went back to your E7. Down, down, down. And to your D, the flames went higher. And then stay there on the A, and it burns, burns, burns. E7, the ring of, and back fire. And sometimes it'll tag, the ring of fire. All right? So you have 3 songs there for you to practice your new A chord, an A7 chord, the E7 that you've been practicing, and the D and D7 that you've been practicing too. And once again, don't forget to show us your progress and hashtag OCAC Ukulele, and have fun with these songs. Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich, your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Ooh, yeah, until that morning, ain't nothing gonna harm you. With Mammy and Pappy standing by. With Mammy and Pappy standing by. There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun. It's been the ruin of many a poor boy, and God, I know I'm one. My mother a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk, and the only time he's satisfied is when he is drunk. No mother, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your life in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. But there is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun. It's been the ruin of many a poor boy, and God, I know I'm one. Some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Just a few more weary days and then I'll fly away to a land where joy shall never end. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away to by and by, hallelujah. When I die, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away to home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away by and by, hallelujah. When I die, I'll fly away. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. They said you was high class, but that was just a lie. They said you was high class, but that was just a lie. You ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but makes a fiery ring, bound by wild desire. I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. The taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours meet. I fell for you like a child. Oh, but the fire went wild. Oh, I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burns, 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 the ring of fire.